We welcome in now Evan Wasch, the Executive Vice President of Basketball Strategy and Analytics for the NBA. Evan, not only a great title, but is that hard to fit on a business card?
It's just go basketball strategy.
Ah, there you go. I love it. So let's talk about strategy of the in-season tournament now and how this got created. Was it a collaboration of a bunch of people?
Absolutely. This has been something that we've talked about at the league office really for the last decade or more. Something that we just thought was an opportunity to grow the game, really enhance the competition, and just create more opportunity for players, teams, and fans to chase something in a part of the season that would help them build their legacies and add to their resumes. And so, you know, for a long time, we've thought it was an untapped opportunity. It obviously took a lot of discussion between folks at the league, our teams, our players association, our network partners to figure out the right model and how to do it. But it was a lengthy process to get to the point we are now where we're ready to tip off the inaugural edition.
What was your role in creating this tournament?
So I've been leading the NBA's basketball strategy group for about 10 years, and again, it's something we've talked about but got really serious about over the last 2 years. So I've played effectively a project manager role in bringing together all of the different relevant groups here at the league that have a role in this, and working with, like, as I said, players, teams, and business partners to listen to them, hear their feedback about the different proposals that we're circulating, ultimately trying to thread that needle of something that could meet all of the objectives that we were trying to meet, you know, without disrupting the traditional season in any material way. And so that's been my role, but obviously a huge, huge collaboration from across the basketball ecosystem.
What would you say the biggest challenges or hurdles were in getting all this to come together?
Yeah, it was really three things. So one was, how do you add something into the calendar, the schedule, without taking away from what is, of course, most important to our teams and players, which is the chase for the Larry O'Brien. And so that means not adding games to the schedule, not adding undue rest, and all those types of things. We also, of course, were focused on the business side. We wanted to make sure we maintained 41 home games for our teams and our fans. And then the third was just trying to figure out a format that would create compelling competition. And so really, as I said, that threading that needle of fitting it into the schedule with in a way that was fan-friendly, in a format that hopefully will be more understood as we get into it, and create that elevated competition was, I think, the biggest challenge we faced.
Now, most of the games are on Tuesdays and Fridays, and that might seem like a small thing, but it seems like a great strategy to me to just sort of remind the NBA fans who are locked in that those are the days to really keep an eye out for if they're really into this in-season tournament.
Absolutely, and that was actually a suggestion that came direct from one of our players on our competition committee, which was, if you're going to have regular season games double count for tournament qualification through these so-called tournament nights, then, or for qualification for the knockout rounds, we wanted to, the players felt we needed to make sure that those nights stood out. And so everyone knew going into the Tuesdays and Fridays in November that when you take the court for those games, that there's added meaning, there's added importance to them, and not just have those games dotted throughout the calendar. And then, of course, we've done a lot of work on our end to make sure we differentiate those. Of course, we just released the unique court designs for those games. We'll have city edition jerseys for those. So really trying to differentiate them, not just with the calendar, but with the look and feel in the arenas as well.
You've obviously, this is a big buy-in by the NBA, but you have to have the players buying in as well. What kind of reaction have you gotten from the players about this?
It's been incredibly positive. It's not to say that every single player is you know, optimistic about this or excited, but all in all, through the collective bargaining conversations with the Players Association and then indirect conversations with players since our official launch in July, there's a lot of excitement. I think the opportunity to chase a new championship, especially in the inaugural year, I talked about that legacy building opportunity for players who have yet to lift the Larry O'Brien. This is perhaps something, you know, that can serve as a first step towards that. So really, I think players are just excited to see how it feels, participate in this first edition. You know, there's recognitions, there's the financial prizing, and it's going to be exciting, especially once we get to Vegas. So I think across the league, you're going to see a lot of excitement, a lot of buy-in from our players and teams.
Now, you could certainly say that NBA players are well compensated, so to say they're chasing money wouldn't matter, but I would imagine that's part of it too, that there's sort of that pride factor of not only am I going to get compensated for this, there's sort of an extra incentive out there, but there's a trophy out there. There's a lot of things that could be very good about this. Also, you mentioned those final few games and the ultimate game in Las Vegas being something very exciting, almost a showcase weekend or game, for example, like the All-Star game.
Absolutely. So our so-called Final Four, the semifinals and championship taking place in Las Vegas is, we think, an added bonus for players. One of the key format changes we made at the last minute was to make sure that all teams would actually be playing that week, right? That the teams that don't advance to the knockout rounds are still playing regular season games. So it's not the case where some teams are playing through this and others have a full week off. So it's really a question of whether teams want to continue playing regular season games in their markets and on the road, or have this chance to go to Vegas and be part of this elevated experience. And I think what really sold players was not just the individual financial incentive that comes along with winning this championship, which is significant for a lot of players, but also the opportunity to really be at the ground floor and build something for the future. Of course, the Players Association shares with the league in terms of the revenue we generate, and we see this as a huge value driver in the future if we can create that tent pole in this part of the season. And I think players saw that and saw an opportunity to create something that they could hand off to the next generation of players.